Hey everyone, this is Chase at Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and today we're going to take a closer look at navigating the Can-Am OEM parts finder. Alright, so whether you own a Renegade, an Outlander, Maverick Trail, or even an X3, in this video today we're going to walk you through the Can-Am OEM diagrams and give you the information that you need to find the parts that you're looking for. So first we'll go through the basic organization of Can-Am's OEM diagrams. We're also going to give you some tips and helpful information to find those parts you're looking for, and we're also going to answer some commonly asked questions. So grab your computer and let's find those parts. So before we get started, just remember that in order to view the OEM parts from Can-Am, you need to have an account created at Rocky Mountain. So if you have an account, just go ahead and log in. If you don't have an account, you can create one easily by just clicking on the link. On each OEM page, you'll find a couple helpful links, and you can also access these two features on any of the OEM schematic pages as well. The first one is live chat. Here you can chat with an OEM specialist if you're having trouble finding the parts that you need. The other is OEM Parts Finder Tips. Here's a list of tips and tricks that we have put together that are specific to Can-Am that will help you locate the correct part. Now we're constantly updating this sheet, so if there's a question you have or something that you see is missing, let us know. So on this page, you'll find information about your machine's model identification, such as special editions, and identifying your vehicle year. Now Can-Am has many models within a family, so just know that through 2015, you will need to know your model identifier before proceeding to the parts schematics. Now keep in mind that the model identification process changed in 2016. From 2016 and beyond, your model will not be selected until the assembly level. Here we can see an example of finding a piston for a 1000R Maverick Max. You will see that it's not until you get to the piston assembly that you can select the 1000R. Just be careful here to ensure that you select the correct diagram to make sure you are ordering the correct parts. Now the last thing I'm going to cover on this page is model year. If you're not sure what model year your machine is, no problem. The 10th digit in the VIN will be your model year. For example, if you have a B in the 10th position, this would indicate you have either a 1981 or 2011 model. Just refer to this table at the bottom if you're not sure. Alright, so let's take a look at finding some parts. First, select your machine. Now Can-Am has ATV and side-by-sides to choose from, and we'll be looking up a 2018 Maverick X3 XRS. So first we'll select side-by-side, and once you have your make, select your year, your model series, and then select your model within that family. Now you can see that Can-Am has several different X3 models, such as Standard, Mud Runner, Rock Crawler, and ours is the XRS, so we'll select that from the list. Now rather than listing the diagrams in alphabetical order, Can-Am goes by specific categories such as crankcase, suspension, or air intake. Now something unique to Can-Am is on some models you'll see at the top of the list is a frequently used parts schematic. If you click on this list, you'll see a list of parts that are frequently replaced. This is a quick way to get those high wear maintenance parts on your machine. Now just make sure you're selecting the correct part for your machine. You'll see that there are 3 different options for the dry belt. Our engine is a Turbo R, so we would add that belt to our cart. Now for all other schematics, to start finding a part, no matter what part you are looking for, think of where the part is on the vehicle and what it connects to or is touching. For example, if you are looking for a CV boot, you know it's part of the drivetrain and it sits on the axle. For Can-Am, you'll find the CV boot on the front drive main part or the rear drive diagrams depending on if you needed the part for the front or for the rear. So we'll go ahead and look at the front first. Once on the schematic, we can see the CV boot is listed as part number 40D. I also want to point out that there are multiple items that are labeled as 40D. These are separated by a 1 or a 2, and if we look at those, you'll see that 1 is the large boot clamp, 2 is the small boot clamp. If you needed just the clamps, you could get just those. If you're looking for the boot kit, you would order 40D, and that would include the boot, clamps, grease, and everything needed. Now you'll notice that there are no directional arrows on the Can-Am schematics. But for the most part, the parts are laid out in the same orientation on each schematic with the front of the machine located on the left side of the schematic. So you can use that as a reference when locating parts for the left or right side of the machine. Now as you look at the diagram, there are some important things to know and some tips to help you out. Each yellow box has a number that corresponds to a part on the diagram. And like I just pointed out, sometimes you'll have a letter and another number to break the assemblies out even further. When you hover over that yellow box, it will give you some helpful information. You'll find the name of the part, the Can-Am part number, our price, retail price, and the quantity in stock. You can also add to cart straight from here by clicking the Add to Cart box. You can also zoom in and out using the plus or minus keys or the scroll wheel on your mouse. Now let's look up a 2017 Outlander 1000. So we'll go back to the top and select ATV instead of side-by-side. We'll select 2017 in Outlander family. This is the 1000, and you can see that they group this with the 570, 650, and 850. So we'll click that and pull up the front drive system diagram. Now on certain diagrams, you'll see a box surrounding multiple item numbers or a line connecting multiple items. On this schematic, you can see number 40 is connected to a box surrounding the axle assembly. All the part numbers inside the box can be ordered individually, but if you want to order the entire assembly, you would just order number 40, and that will include everything inside the box and will come already assembled. You'll see that you can just add number 40 from the schematic straight to your cart, so let's scroll down and find it in the parts list below. You'll see that there are 4 different options for 40, and that it has a greater than symbol with 40E behind that. This means that it includes everything through 40E, and you would know that since all those are found inside that box. Now if you read the names of these 4 parts, we can find a left and a right side for the XMR package, and a left and right side for everything except the XMR package. Since ours isn't a Mud Runner model, we'll order from the 2 lower options. So next, let's talk a little more in depth about the parts list. The numbers on the diagram correlate to the numbers listed below. On this list under quantity, certain boxes have more than 1 for a quantity. This indicates the amount of that part needed for complete reassembly. If you don't want or need the quantity needed for complete reassembly, you can easily change the quantity and add it to your cart. So now let's jump over to the body accessories without Fender's all models diagram and scroll down to the parts list. If an item is in stock, we have it in our warehouse and ready to be shipped. We do our best to stock as many parts as possible, but might not stock items that are rarely purchased. If you order a part that is not stocked, we will order that part immediately from Can-Am and ship it to you as soon as possible. We work hard to review each diagram to stock the parts that are commonly ordered. If we missed one, our software will recognize it based on sales and make it a stocked item. Now if an item says not shipping, this can be one of 2 things. First, the part is old and no longer made by Can-Am, and second, it may be a brand new part and not yet available. If it has an email me when available box, we will email you and notify you when the part is available. So now let's take a look at some commonly asked questions. And to do that, let's navigate to a 2010 Renegade 800R standard version. After we pull that up, let's select the crankshaft, piston, and cylinder schematic. A common question we get asked is about superseded parts. A superseded part is a part that has been replaced by a newer version. You'll see a small red text underneath the part number on the parts diagram list. Now this part will fit your machine just fine. Can-Am may have just made a change to that specific part, so it replaced the old part along with the part number. Another common question is about standard equipment parts. So let's find number 6 on the parts list. You'll notice that there are 2 different piston sizes offered for this machine. On this diagram, you have your standard size, but depending on the condition of your cylinder or if it's been bored out, Can-Am has a second option with a larger, oversized diameter. Now the last thing we'll cover is color options. So let's go to a 2017 Maverick X3 Max. Now once you get that pulled up, look at the body and accessories part 2 diagram and then scroll down to the parts list. When we look at number 2000, you can see that here Can-Am lists all the different color options for this specific part. Now they don't list the colors in the model number, only the part name. So just be sure to select the correct color option from the list. However, Can-Am is pretty good about listing each color clearly, so it's easy to find the color that you're looking for. Alright, so there it is. That is our walkthrough of the Can-Am OEM diagrams. Now if you have any questions about anything we covered in this video, or you just can't seem to find that part that you are looking for, well, do not hesitate. You can call in or chat live online with one of our friendly CSRs and we'll get you taken care of. I'm Chase at Rocky Mountain. Thanks for watching.